Welcome everybody. We're getting ready to jump into some of the world famous football with the one and nine, the only, the biggest Laker fan that I know in the world, Mr. Gerald Glassford. How you doing?
I'm doing well, my friend. Happy holidays to you. I see you're in the festive wear
Man,
that I'm not in right now, but happy holidays to you and your family and to everyone out there watching and listening as well. Truly appreciate being on the show once again, my friend.
I appreciate having you on. And yeah, I had to have the Christmas holiday on. We had it at our school today. Everyone was wearing, all teachers and kids wearing our Christmas gear. So I had to wear my anime Christmas shirt today.
Nice indeed, my friend. Well chosen.
Well, we're going to get ready to jump into the spicy topics because this is bowl season. We are finally in postseason and got past the major controversy, and we saw how things played out once that happened last Sunday. But we're ready to talk some good college football. And I got to ask you, Jared, how do you want to start it off? Do you want to jump into these bowl games, or do you want to talk about the controversy?
Well, I know the controversy is probably the thing that everybody wants us to hit on most. So we'll go ahead right there before we get into the CFP or the bowl games, as it were.
So we both know exactly how that played out. We saw two G5 teams make the playoff, and then I'll put it up here as well so people can see, just in case some people may have forgotten what the bracket looks like. But we did have a chance to see two teams that made it. Two teams you probably normally wouldn't see in the playoff, and that's both James Madison and Tulane. Two G5 schools, James Madison, that I personally know very well because my college, Georgia Southern University, plays against them in the Sun Belt Conference. I know them very well. But a lot of controversy, a lot of people were definitely not happy with these two teams being in it. Some think they took spots of Notre Dame and Texas and Vanderbilt, and saw a lot of names getting thrown out. I saw Skip Bayless video. He was very, very ticked off that these two teams made it. And Paul from ESPN, he was upset. We saw a lot of different hot takes. So, Gerald, I got to ask you, what's your thought about this whole entire thing, that these two teams, they end up getting in through their conference championship bids?
Well, I do think there should always be room for the smaller teams or team, as it were. I think they would have been better off choosing one. The crying by Texas or the crying by Notre Dame doesn't really matter to me or faze me. But I think it just leads into a larger discussion that, I know that on the Lakers Fast Break, Joe Soro is against this because, talk about, on the kids. And I'm like, okay, well, if the NCAA really cared about the kids' well-being as far as travel is concerned, they would have never let USC, UCLA, and some of these teams on the West Coast be part of the Big Ten. So where they have to travel from one side of the universe to another, seemingly on a weekly basis at times, if they're on the road. So again, this is a different era, so I don't think that you would be impacting the kids too much, because obviously education doesn't come first in this situation, because of the fact that simply because I don't see the NCAA really emphasizing that aspect, which they should emphasize more often, is the educational and the academic part of it, but they still seemingly don't. But I really think that right now you should expand the teams. I think that, okay, if you want to cut, there's always going to be crying, whether you make it a 24 team playoffs, whether you make it a 64 team playoffs. There's always going to be some team crying and some organization crying or some football team crying. But I'm going to say this with this sport, college football compared to college basketball, there's less room for a Cinderella story. If anybody out there is here in Vegas where I'm at, if you're betting money on Tulane or James Madison,
Oof.
You're putting like $5 down to get 5,000 back, because you are not going to get your money back. If they win one game, that's as good as winning the college football playoff for them. Let's put it that way. But I think that it does speak to the fact that we do need to expand this forward. You need expansion. I've always talked about, as we'll go through in the laughable bowls coming up here in just a few minutes when you and I talk about that. I think that the college football system and the bowl system is broken. I am so tired of seeing or hearing about these 6-6 teams and it playing another 6-6. That 6 is bowl eligible. Like, it should be applauded. It's like the participation trophy of college football. Yes, you got 6 wins. You get to go to a bowl game that nobody is going to see. You sent me a message through our chat that there are bowl games that are giving out free admission to the they can't get people to see these neutral site games. So again, if the NCAA is really all about money, and we've talked about for years, a lot of people have talked about years about how the NCAA is all about the money. Well, if you're all about the money, take off one regular season game and add a tournament where it's involving the entire bowl system is now including all these games, or virtually all the bowl system bowl games are including the college football playoffs and support those teams. Like, wouldn't this be great as far as a first round, let's say a James Madison, Oregon team? Wouldn't that be great as far as serving as one of the bowl games early on this week? Or let's say an Alabama, Oklahoma matchup be in place of one of these bowl games. Like, let's say, okay, the Salute to Veterans Bowl. Wouldn't that be better as an Alabama-Oklahoma game right now than Troy and Jacksonville State? Or how about Old Dominion, South Florida, right, that are going to play in the Cure Bowl on the 17th? Would that have not been better for a James Madison versus Oregon? I mean, well, let me hear your thoughts on this, my friend, because again, the college football playoff system is broken. I'm glad that they finally got out into this many teams, but I really think that they need to do more to make it more attractive as a television product.
Yeah, I feel like they need to do some changes to the playoff system. Like, I'm happy to see G5 teams get in because of my college is G5, so I does like that. Hey, you got an opportunity to get in there, but I can't understand why people feel it's a little much to have 2. Because truth be told, I know neither one of them is not going to win this thing. Neither one got no shot. But they might can make it interesting at least. And that's the one thing I've been telling a lot of people about the James Madison team. Just because I've seen them in person. I know how good they are. I know how good their coach is, who's going to UCLA after all this is over. Bob Cheston just got hired with UCLA not long ago. And that's probably the team I could see that maybe pull an upset. Maybe. I wouldn't bet on it, but they got a good shot of making an upset. And I do think it would be probably better entertaining if they will turn these first round games probably into the bowl game that we about to see starting tomorrow and all that. Like, I know Troy University, I know them pretty well from the Sun Belt. I know them folks are not happy about playing in Montgomery because that is a crappy bowl. I can say that for sure. I've seen that bowl in person. It is crappy. And yeah, I don't think a lot of people probably gonna be watching those Troy and Jacksonville duking it out. Troy, I think Troy won 8 or 9 games this season. They were the runner-up in the conference, I believe.
But again, it just leads me to the point, it's just not a big market for it. So why not make those early bowl games first-round matchups for the college football playoffs instead? You would have a bigger base of fans going to these games. Like, for instance, if you had in one of the first round matchups, Alabama, Oklahoma, like you do now, when that game happens, guess what? That's going to be a big crowd to whatever, venue that they're doing it at. I think it's at Oklahoma? I think so. Yes, at Oklahoma. But what if it was a neutral site? What if it was a bowl game? What if it was a first round bowl game matchup on, like, let's say the 68 Ventures Bowl or something like that? Just imagine if Alabama and Oklahoma's fans traveling to that 68 Ventures Bowl, what an influx of cash it is into that game, interest, television ratings, etc., etc.
Yeah, that would be a lot of money because them type of places just don't get a lot of traction like that. Like, from my experience going to a couple of G5 bowl games, it's a decent crowd. I know our school come out pretty big, but some schools, depending on where they're coming from, is yeah, it's kind of yeah. And I know the bowl game in Montgomery. Shout out to the city of Montgomery. They hopefully they're gonna do better this year. I know when my school went there, and I want to say 21, when they played against Buffalo University at that bowl there, that city struggled to handle the Georgia Southern University crowd. So hopefully they're gonna be able to handle the crowd that coming from Troy and Jacksonville, because they couldn't handle Georgia Southern. So I'm like, if you can't handle Georgia Southern, you probably can't handle Alabama or Ohio State crowd. You will fall apart. That city was very unprepared for true fans to show up. So hopefully that city gonna do better this year compared to what they did a couple years back. Hopefully, but I do think they got to do something about the bowl system wise, because, like you said, Gerald, it does feel kind of broken, and it feels like you get to the age where people starting to bag out of it and starting to don't want to play it, and so it's like you're gonna have to do something. Something gonna have to change, and I want to say it's gonna probably start off with this bracket. It's gonna probably be the first change that's gonna probably happen once all this is over with. I'll be surprised if they don't make a change because the two G5 teams made it. I'll be really surprised.
Well, again, that's my thoughts. I just think that what we're going to be seeing. We'll talk about all these bowl games, and some of them are really just bad matchups between bad teams. And I just, again, I understand it's by giving these kids a chance and whatnot, but you're celebrating mediocrity in some of these bowl games, and I just don't understand why. When if you just you take away a game on the regular season schedule, and you add, in some cases, two more games, and you have it last throughout the middle of January as far as how it expands. I don't think that's asking for too much. I don't think that's talking about too much as far as what they see as far as it's concerned. Where you could space it out enough weeks for these kids that it's still not too much on them, because that's what we're talking about, expanding it to a 13 or 14 or 15 game schedule possibly for these kids. For the championship game, that would be to a 14 or 15 game type schedule. That's in these days and ages. I just think that it would seemingly be more wise. I mean, you could take away one of those cash games that they do early in the season where one of these heavily ranked teams gets a patsy to come in for an easy payday where they beat them 65-3. Who needs those games anyways? Who, besides those smaller programs, which gladly takes the money? I get that. I understand it. But who really, as far as the fans, needs that? Wouldn't that be better if you took those games away off the schedule and put in its place a good first round matchup against a better quality team as far as it's concerned? So that's just my 2 cents there. So
that's a good point right there. That's a good point, because some of these matchups is probably gonna be pretty much blowouts. And there are some games, I think there's some 5-17 that had the field bowl spots because you just didn't have enough team with 6 wins, and that's pretty bad. You have to go grab a 5-win team. That's pretty bad. That's dropping down the mediocrity very, very low at that point. I will say one thing I think I've been hearing a lot about, though. I want to hear your thoughts on this too, Gerald. I heard a lot of people think maybe G5 need to have their own playoff and start moving away from the college football playoff. What do you think of that style? I know FCS do that already.
Yeah, but that's just too breaking it down because of the D1, D2, D3. I think that if that's the mission, that the group of 5 are never as equal as the big powerhouse conferences. That's saying that a team like UNLV, for instance, here in town, they finished at 10-3. What if they would have won and gotten into the college football playoffs? I mean, that's a great performance. I think they would like that better than a power, a group of 5. To other teams outside the big group of 5 universe, it just seems to me that the Power 5 universe, it just seems to me that that's an insult to the rest of those D1 teams. I wouldn't go along with that personally. I just think that it would just, oh yay, you're like, it's the NIT. You're in essence creating an NIT is what you're asking for, and I'm not sure everybody else would go along with it.
I agree. For me personally, I don't feel like that's right. I feel like G5 schools should be allowed to compete.
Yay, we're number 65, and then NIT, that's what they say. It's like, okay, great. And your point? Yeah. So
I know a lot of basketball teams who always say that too in March Madness. Well, some people ought not to play NIT because they'd rather make the March Madness tournament. Even if you know you're not going to win, it's just the fact that that's a better achievement than me playing in the NIT tournament. And that's, I think, how a lot of G5 teams look at it as well with the college football playoff. Yeah, we don't have a chance. We know we're not going to win it, but it's the fact that I'd rather have a chance to play with the big boys on the biggest stage in the world at this point versus doing a G5 playoff. And to me, when you do the G5 playoff, it feels like LCS to me all over again. That's what it feels like. You feel like you're basically being thrown down in the basement and just forgetting all about. So I just feel like you said, I feel like it's kind of a disrespect to the guys on that lower Division I level, and I feel like this is kind of unfair. So I know I heard a lot of people kept saying that they should do that, and I'm like, no, that's just wrong. Like, I know they can't win, but still, let these dudes play, let these guys compete. Plus, I told somebody, it's not the first time we've seen teams get blown out in the first round. We don't see plenty of that. I believe last year was Tennessee or somebody got blown out in the first round. We don't see Power 5s get blown out. So what's the difference with G5 teams experience the same thing? There's no difference. Who knows? We might see an upset this year. That gonna change a lot.
I don't think so, but I think that there's been stronger non-Power 5 teams before, but who knows? Like I said, give them a chance. They're D1 Division I teams. Give them a chance to compete at the highest level.
I agree. And I said probably the chances of an upset happening this year is probably not that high. But I've been saying it for the longest. If one of these G5 teams is gonna pull the upset, I really want to say it would be James Madison because their defense is that darn good. It's that good. I think they should have beat Louisville earlier this year, honestly. But their defense is that good. Tulane might make it interesting now because Lane Kiffin's not there. That's another topic I would love to talk about too. The Lane Kiffin saga. He burned another bridge, but ain't nothing new with him though. But
that's for sure.
But other than that, we're gonna see how this college football playoff gonna really play out. But before we get ready to jump topics though, Jared, I just gotta ask you. Who you think gonna win the whole thing?
Okay. Indiana is riding on an all-time high. They have themselves the Heisman Trophy winner. They look to be the team that's really riding a great wave of success. I understand that they had, the one up on Ohio State, but I don't know if Indiana, this will be as far as they've ever gone as a football team in the modern era. So I really think right now I would probably lean. I want to still say Ohio State at this point in time. I think Ohio State probably is looking to seek some vengeance with just saying throwing the ball. I'll just say right now I would leave it with Ohio State right now. I'm just not convinced Indiana, with everything going right for them the entire season, that it's going to continue. That's just what I think right now.
Okay, so you're rocking with Ohio State. Okay,
I'm not in love with it, but it's a kind of shaky. But I probably say at this point in time, Ohio State.
And what's up, Rune? And I've been saying Ohio State for most of this season. If I really want somebody to win it, much as a lot of people will probably be surprised, but I actually would like for Indiana to win it just because of the coach for Indiana. He came from James Madison University. A lot of people don't realize that. He was formerly the coach from James Madison, as well as a lot of those players in that Indiana team that came from James Madison too. Which is kind of why I would like to see them do it, just to give that recognition to not just to James Madison, but G5 teams and all. I think that would look really good for G5 teams to know a coach and a lot of players from that conference came to the big boy level and just took over and won the whole thing. I thought that would look that'd be a heck of a story.
Yeah.
But I also know Ohio is not easy. It's gonna be hard to beat them twice. And I got to give credit to my Georgia Bulldogs. They have really improved from how they were through most of the season. Because they've been playing a lot of having to make a comeback all the time. And that Alabama game was the most complete Georgia team I have seen this season. Defense, everything was just spot on. Like they was looking unstoppable out there. So I want Indiana low key to win it, but I also feel like it can end up being Ohio or Georgia coming out of this whole thing. Unless somebody unsuspected this just wins it, somebody we never thought about. But see how that plays out. But I do think Georgia gonna have something to say. They gonna have something to say in this playoff run.
I wouldn't doubt it either. They're actually, again, a really strong team. They've closed out the rest of the season on a good note. So I'd probably say they've got a fair chance as well.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Ohio be the first back-to-back since Georgia. I would not be surprised.
We'll see. Again, I'm just reaching out there. I think that that game against Indiana could have gone either way. Yeah. Indiana is a team that they've never smelt this kind of goodness before in this modern era. So they're building something special there. And if they win the national championship, more power to them because they certainly deserve it. That's for sure.
They certainly did. And I give Indiana credit. They got a really good coach. Yeah. Hold on to them as long as you can because, I don't think Indiana ever been not like this in the modern era.
No.
For a long time.
No. Back up that Brinks truck, baby.
So I see why he getting paid down there right now.
Mm-hmm.
So going into the next topic, though, Jared, before we get ready to hit all our wonderful bowl games, I got to ask you about the Lane Kiffin saga. What was your thoughts about him leaving Ole Miss and taking the LSU job?
Did you expect anything different? This is who he is.
Nope.
This is exactly who he is. And in 3 to 5 years, he'll probably jump somewhere else and make more money there. So this is just who he is. He is a vagabond who takes advantage of whatever, college football or NFL job that wants him next. As soon as he gets a little bored, a little complacent, or what have you, he'll take his services elsewhere. It doesn't matter what the money is because he knows he's always going to get paid. It's just who he is. And I learned this the hard way. I'm a Trojan fan from USC because I went there for a brief bit of time. So I've always had an affinity for the school. And, we thought he was going to be the, successor to Pete Carroll. It was just going to be just like, okay, he's going to be here for decades. He's going to be our Urban Meyer and, or our Nick Saban. He's going to be there forever. He's going to be an institution. Oh, yeah, that worked out, didn't it? So, yeah, this is who he is. Whether he starts to feel the heat and decides to bail out or he just wants to go. That's just who he is. I just don't see it lasting the entire tenure of the contract. And I'm hoping I'm proven wrong for the folks in Baton Rouge.
I will definitely say I saw a lot of Ole Miss and even a few Tennessee people tell LSU fans, don't put your hopes up too much. I don't heard a lot of them come out saying he gonna do you the same way he did all of us. Going to the next girlfriend, they were saying.
NFL could come back calling again, or another, Alabama, or I don't know, just you name a high profile school if that becomes the case. You never know.
That Alabama job is the one I'm wondering the most about because I still think Alabama's going to eventually end up getting rid of the guy they got currently right now. I just get the feeling I don't feel like he's the Alabama material, and it's hard to step in after what Nick Saban has done for that program. It's hard to step into that shadow, but I just get the feeling that Alabama job is going to be open. Maybe not this year, but either next year or the year after. It's going to be open in the next 2 years, I believe. And I get the feeling he's going to make that jump for that job. I just get that gut feeling he's going to do it. I can't see him passing up Alabama. I just can't. I wouldn't be surprised Kirby Smart threw his name in the hat. I would not be surprised.
Yep. I agree.
It's just something about working for Alabama is better than everyone else. So I can understand that part. But I don't heard a lot of people already starting to get attached to Lane Kiffin and LSU. And yeah, that's the wrong mistake to make.
Couldn't agree more with my friend.
But we'll see how it plays out. I am definitely looking forward to LSU and Ole Miss. I have to watch that game. I got to see how they're gonna treat him when he go back. Because when he left, it was ugly. It was ugly out there. So going into the main topic, the big thing I know we both want to talk about is all the wonderful bowl games. We got so many bowl games with 6-6 teams, and first time ever, I don't seen a lot of 5 and 7 teams get picked up too. And we don't seen a lot of Salute Bowl, the bowl that my university playing in the 29th of this month, Birmingham Bowl, which is usually SEC and ACC. But our team, our Sunbelt team, playing in that bowl game, and all over the place. I don't seen a lot of teams having to fill in the spots because people just didn't want to play after with Notre Dame, the one that started it all off. So, Gerald, what's your thoughts about these bowl games? Is it just too many at this point? Like, there's so many bowl games continue to pop up. Xbox bowl games started this year and gave out free rogue allies to the Missouri State University players.
Would have been, well, probably was the S version, the basic version, not the X version. So. Yeah,
I think it was the basic.
Yeah, so I'll just say this: if I'm telling you now that that they should just revamp the college bowl system, like I did at the beginning of the show, I can tell you already. But the answer is yes. There are way too many bowl games at this point because when you're talking about so many just useless bowls. I mean, they're I don't want to say useless, okay, but for these kids, it's a big deal. For the schools, depending on the school, it might be a big deal. But yeah, for the most part, how many people actually care? Like you said, you sent me word that one of these bowl games is actually looking for, giving out free admission, free tickets, because they can't get people to buy tickets for their game. So whether it's the Xbox Bowl, the Gasparilla Bowl, the Snoop Dogg Bowl, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, the Boca Raton Bowl, the Frisco Bowl, it doesn't matter. The First Responder Bowl, it doesn't matter what bowl that you make. It could be any bowl that you want. There are too many of them because there are too many mediocre teams out there that want to be rewarded for mediocrity. And again, there is a pathway to make college football more exciting, and I just don't understand why they don't choose it.
Yeah, it's a lot of useless bowls out here because I said the one that my university is playing in, where is it? It is right over here, the J Lab Birmingham Bowl. That's what my university is going to be playing in. We playing in App State, which is kind of odd to play your conference team in a bowl game.
And don't forget one of the other Georgia teams, Georgia Tech. They're playing in the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
That's right. They're playing Pop-Tart Bowl. I think they took Notre Dame spot. I forgot who they playing against, but
BYU.
BYU, okay. That's another team that's upset about not being in the playoff.
Exactly. So, again, satisfy those top 24 or so teams. Expand it to cover some of these lame bowl games, make them more exciting, and make the college football playoffs more exciting ultimately. And as far as it's concerned, I just think again that the opportunity for everyone to benefit, except for those schools that shouldn't probably be there in the first place, these 6-6, 7-5 teams that really shouldn't get a pat in the back by getting a bowl game, those teams could be eliminated and put in there instead with opportunities for a chance to see an extra game or two of these really high ranked teams. And that I think would be better suited for more interesting football for everyone out there.
Because I can guarantee, Drew, I highly doubt a lot of people is not going to watch the Salute Veterans Bowl. I just highly doubt it. Even though it's going to be on ESPN, I may have to look up the numbers to see after that game tomorrow night to see how many people actually watched it. I just don't think there'll be a lot of people watching it.
Yeah, I don't get it. I just don't get it. The answer's there right in front of their face if they so choose it.
Murder Beach Bowl, that's actually the bowl I wanted my school to go play in. I do like this, like one Murder Beach in general, but I highly doubt a lot of people. I think it's in the middle of the day too, so That makes it even worse. It's 11 o'clock in the morning, so highly doubt a lot of people definitely not be watching that one.
You're going to see half-empty stadiums right and left. I mean, the NBA Cup, which we saw 2 half-empty arenas, as far as 2 different games and half-empty arenas. So, again, I don't know. It's just, what do you want to do for the consumer? What do you want to do to provide something special? Why should the consumer care about what you're putting out there? If you're putting out these teams that had mediocre seasons out there, it's might as well call it the Mediocre Bowl, for goodness sakes.
Yeah. Because like I said, there's a lot of 5 and 17s that have no business being out there. And even my university people always say, even with us, when we go 6 and 6, even we say, "Nah, we shouldn't be going no bowl game." Like that's like no. This is like you say, it's like almost patting me for being mediocre at that point, and that is not. That shouldn't be a standard. And even me as a consumer, I don't want to pay to go watch that. It's gonna be a lot of empty bowl games, just like the NBA Cup. That look pretty sad. The NBA, that's pretty sad. Is nobody really there watching? It's almost on the level of WNBA issue that they be having when they ain't a Clayton Clark game. I mean, that's pretty sad and pathetic. College football has to figure out something to make these. If you want to keep doing all these bowl games, you got to make it exciting somehow. Not sure how you're gonna do it because the talent level is, it's not there like a UGA or Alabama or USC or anything like that. And those schools just don't got the word-rated fan bases too, so that's also hurt you a little bit. Maybe Myrtle Beach may have a decent bowl game, a decent amount of crowd from Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State did just win their first conference title, so maybe a lot of people from the Atlanta area might come to represent them. But I think the team they're going against probably ain't gonna have nobody there. That's way out of state who they're going against. So I'll be surprised if anybody come from Western Michigan to represent. But you might see one side of the stadium with Kennesaw State, the other one, be pretty much dead over there. So I'm not sure how the NCAA can fix it or not, but got to be a way to fix it. I know that much. Got to be a way to fix it.
I believe there is as well.
So before we get ready to wrap up this show, Jared, I want to ask any thoughts, though, on what you think as a prediction or what you think the college football committee going to do after everything is all said and done, all the dust is settled from the bowl game to playoff. What changes do you think we might see coming up?
They'll expand maybe to 24. I'm not 100% sure on that, or maybe to 25 if they want to go ahead and do buys. But I think that they will expand the tournament even more to include more games. But the problem is, don't make them separate. Loop over and start integrating those bowl games into it. That would be my suggestion. If they do that, then I think that's a step in the right direction.
Okay, I agree. I think that'd be a good step in direction. They'll probably start fixing a lot of them empty bowl games that would be seen on TV, and you see ESPN trying to zoom in so you don't show that part. Trying their best not to show them empty seats. But I gotta say, Gerald, I appreciate you coming on, man. It's
always, my friend.
Been a really good talk with you, talking good college football, and hey, I'm ready to see how this college football playoff is gonna play out.
As am I, my friend. As am I. What are your viewers out there thinking about who they might see as the champion? You didn't even tell me your thoughts because you think it's Georgia that's going to take the CFP.
I'm kind of stuck between Ohio and Georgia, but I want Indiana to win it. I want Indiana to win it, but something tells me it's going to be between Georgia and Ohio. Going to be the one to win the whole thing.
Okay. All right.
But I'm hoping, Indiana might can pull it because you is on the other side of the bracket from Ohio and Georgia. They got to knock each other out. So, yeah, that helps out. Oh, and then Tony got coming for you, Gerald.
Oh, there you go. Let's go here. It's right there. Do I play 2K? I do play 2K occasionally, NBA 2K occasionally, but I did go to Summer League here in Vegas. And they had 2K sponsors the Summer League in Vegas, and so they actually, if you go to Summer League, you will see the latest 2K game, the NBA 2K, before it's released. They have a version of it. It's not the final version of they give you just a vertical slice of it, just to fixed teams as far as it's concerned, but they do give you a chance to see the like for instance, I saw NBA 2K26
Really,
before
man?
it was released. Yeah, so I'll acquiesce to you, my friend. I'll acquiesce to you. I bet you're a lot better than I am. I go for the threes, and unless I get the rhythm down right when I go ahead and play those, hit the buttons right, as you know, you got to hit it right for the threes to get to go ahead off the threes and get those points. But I would assume, Tony, that you're way out of my league on that. I think you could be legend. My gosh, you know who you should play against? Daniel Barry Sports Highlights, who's also a viewer of ours. He streams NBA 2K6. If you might want to give him a shout out on his channel, Daniel Barry Sports Highlights, because he does stream 2K. I would watch that. I would sit down and watch you two play each other. I would definitely do that.
There you go,
maybe
Tony.
I'll do that. I'll reach out to him.
There you go, Tony. You've been wanting competition. There you go. You found it.
There you go.
Now you want to go against me? See me in college football. That's what I would say. See me in college football.
All right, fair enough.
That's more my alley on that one.
There you go. But the challenge has been made. All right, I can't wait.
Don't run, Tony. Well, though, Gerald, we're gonna get ready to wrap this show up. And Tony, Rune, appreciate you guys being here with us, man. And anyone out there who might be watching after the live stream, appreciate you hanging with us. If you enjoyed the content, hit that like, hit the subscribe button for more NBA and college football content. I will be doing more college football content as the bowl games continue to go through. And we will be talking about the upcoming NBA free agency, because not free agency, I mean trade season, because it's time. It's going to
started today, actually, technically.
Oh, yeah, started today. I forgot. It starts today. It's the 15th, so it starts today.
Yeah, so 90% of players now become eligible for trades as of today.
And that's what we're going to talk about, a lot of the potential trades. And I even got some trade thoughts I want to bring up, even for Gerald Lakers. That's some trade that might be out there that they can do. So I'm probably going to do another live stream on NBA either tomorrow or the next day, and just go over trade season. And then talk about my Warriors, who just really need some help. They need some help badly. Steph is doing it all by himself, and it's pretty sad at this point. But other than that, thank you once again, Gerald, for coming in. Everybody, please check out his channel, Lakers Fast Break. If you are a Laker fan, what are you doing? Get to his channel ASAP. That's where you need to be at. You need to be at his channel. Not Lakers Collective, not As It Stand Lakers, any of them other Lakers channels. Lakers Fast Break. That's where you need to be at. If you want to see the funniest, the true Lakers fan, that's where you go to. That's where you go to. But we're going to wrap it up. Everyone have a blessed night. Enjoy Christmas shopping, Christmas next week. Enjoy the holidays. And we're going to get ready to head out. This is Legend. And this is Gerald. And we are out. You have a good one, you too, Tony. Peace out, everybody.